We're joined now by the leader of the Heritage Party, David Curtin. Hello to you again, David. So clearing the backlog is the answer. It sounds like the kind of thing the Labour Party would like to do. But do you think that's the answer? After all, we have one of the highest application acceptance rates in all of Europe, over 70%. Surely clearing the backlog would just lead to an increase in asylum being granted to stay in the UK.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? You can clear the backlog, but if you're going to let 70 people stay in the country, then that isn't going to take any pressure off accommodation, either in hotels to begin with, or later on in the council housing and the private rented sector, which is now chock-a-block with people that have come in, who are seeking asylum, who have been given asylum, and that's having a knock-on effect on the housing market. So, yeah, the answer is that you need to stop the backlog from happening in the first place. That should have been done because the Conservatives have been in power for 13 years. They've got no excuses. But now it's there. You do have to get rid of the backlog. But they're being very duplicitous in the numbers. I mean, they've seemed to have divided it up into two, these pre-June 22 cases, and they're saying, oh, we're clearing that. But as Olivia said, they're increasing the number of asylum seekers coming after that is increasing. So the total number is going up. Well, what we need to do, as I've said for a very long time, is push the boats coming from France back to France. Anyone coming from a safe country like France or Belgium or the Netherlands should immediately, automatically not be given asylum because clearly they are not in imminent danger. So we need to do that. And we also need to reduce legal immigration as well, which is another big problem.
But this is the issue, isn't it, David? Because when you talk about pushing back the boats, you're then facing the huge legal issues that we see in the courts time and time again of the human rights lawyers then getting involved. Simply wouldn't be able to push back the boats. No flights have taken off to Rwanda for exactly the same reason. The human rights lawyers are getting involved again. Is there an issue, do you think, with the legal processes in this country where they get involved in what the government is trying to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing that the report says, that if you do reduce the backlog, then it just goes into another part of the system. It goes into the courts because you've got human rights lawyers where we'll take on the cases of almost every single asylum seeker to appeal against any decision to deport them. And then the deportations just simply aren't taking place. I mean, the government last year, I think, forcefully deported just about 3,000 people, which is, nothing compared to the 175,000 people in the backlog. So, yeah, we do have an issue. And there's other things that need to be done politically. We need to come out of the European Convention on Human Rights, which doesn't actually do anything to enhance the human rights of normal citizens in this country. We've got all the rights that we need from law going back centuries. But what that does is it allows human rights lawyers to advocate on behalf of people who are really playing the system, the asylum system. So we need to come out of that so that we can actually deport people when they have their asylum applications refused.
OK, David Curtin, leader of the Heritage Party. We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us again this morning. Superb as ever.